Hey all, Hipper here. So today we are back in the one and only Hipper, and of course there's a reason for that, because we are slowly approaching the tier 7 ranked season next week, and the German heavy cruisers are going to be some of the best ships you can pick for that. Hipper in particular, Mines as well is also a very good pick. If you're looking at the British cruisers, then also Edinburgh is also a very good pick. Prince Eugen 2 is good, but I would still pick Hipper over Eugen due to the faster reload on Hipper's guns. And you're going to need your sonar, so don't go for the reload booster on Eugen. First, let's look at my setup on Hipper, and it's the same setup I've been using forever, pretty much, on this ship here. At least since Azure Lane Baltimore came out, which is actually a long time ago these days. So it's Lucian's, my favorite guy here, Azure Lane Baltimore and Takao, Ingenious, full speed ahead, Velocious, steer clear, and fully packed. And that gives you an incredibly agile, heavy German cruiser, which is not something you see very often. And it's not particularly fast, but it has quite a short turning radius, 3 sonars, and of course a bunch of heels. So 2.1 second rudder, 740 meters turning radius. That's like pretty good for a heavy cruiser. It's not bad. So 37 knots is not particularly amazing in any way, but it's still not bad enough. It's still not bad. So like I said, we are coming up on the tier 7 one-on-one ranked season next week, and I know a few people in the Warships community who are going to run German cruisers for that particular ranked season, and that makes perfect sense to me. In my mind, I think the best contenders are Hipper or Mines. Mines is slightly less agile than Hipper, but I do believe it has slightly better torpedo armament, and of course it has a much faster reload. The guns aren't as potent though, so it really kind of, is up to you what you prefer. I'm having a hard time deciding myself, I will say that. I also have a hard time deciding for or against Edinburgh, because obviously you got a very nice sonar on that ship, and not only that, you also have radar, and of course that's wonderful. The only problem with Edinburgh is that it doesn't really have enough torpedoes. It only has 3 torpedoes on each side. If it had 4 torpedoes on each side, it would be a different matter, but it doesn't. It only has 3, so it's really hard to kill off a battleship in one go using Edinburgh, and obviously you're going to have to do that in a one-on-one. There's no one else there to help you, and you can't set some fires beforehand because Edinburgh only has AP shells. I think it'll be pretty hard to dispose of battleships in that ship. Of course, you can bow tank battleships, at least most of them. You're only going to face one battleship that can overmatch Edinburgh's bow, and that's the Georgia. But in reality, although you can technically bow tank battleships, you are still taking damage when they shoot at you. So yeah, you may not get citadel, but you're still going to be taking damage. So it is quite a bit of a it's actually a very hard choice, this tier 7 here. I think I'm probably going to stick with Hipper, actually. I'm not going to use this build, this commander I'm using here. I'm going to use almost the build I'm using here, but I'm going to change one of the perks, and I'll show you that when we get closer to the tier 7 ranked season. But like I said, I'm also considering Mines. It's not as tanky as Hipper, but it does have much better damage output. Or not much better, but slightly better damage output on the guns. And I do believe that Mines gets an extra torpedo. I could be wrong on that, but I think so. I mean, if there's one ship in this game that you don't want to be, you know, slowly getting out from behind an island, it's the Hipper. And it doesn't matter if you are a battleship or a destroyer or another cruiser, because this ship is made for guarding islands. And if we get the same ranked maps as we've had so far, then I think all of them except for one are just made for Hippers. Really, it's all about getting up to an island, hugging it, and then defending it from the enemy. And there's no better ship for doing that than the Hipper class. With the possible exception of Edinburgh. As I said, that's a really hard choice actually. Do I go with Hipper, do I go with Mines, or do I go with Edinburgh? Those are the choices that I have. Some people say Ochakov, but nah, I don't think so. That thing is made for, you know, staying quite far away from the enemy, and as soon as you get close, especially battleships can just totally wreck that ship. And you'll have to get close in these one-on-one matches. So I would definitely stick to one of the 3 ships that I said. Possibly Eugen as well, if you absolutely have to play that ship. But like I said, in one-on-ones you need your sonar on. And if you put your sonar on Eugen, that means that you will miss out on the main battery boost. And in that case, it just makes more sense to go with Hipper, because Hipper has a faster base reload than Eugen does. And that way you get the best of both worlds. You get fast reload and you also get an awesome sonar. You get less torpedo range, but really I don't think that matters that much. At least most of my one-on-one ranked games, they take place within 2-3 kilometers. Because I play the ships to their strengths, and I usually play the Island Hogger torpedo equipped cruisers in one-on-one ranked, and that means that, like I said before, you force the enemies to get in close and then you torp them. That's pretty much it. And like I said, there is no better ship for that job than the Hipper class. If we're talking battleships, I have also been giving a lot of thought to Odin actually. Because here you have a battleship, and quite an agile battleship at that, and it's equipped with torpedoes and quite fast firing guns with a decent HE, and it's a pretty good overall ship, and of course it's super tanky. Odin also has decent secondaries, and the most important thing on that ship is the fact that you have a sonar. Like in one-on-ones, I think sonar is the most important equipment you can have, and I'm sure you know that the Germans have the best sonar out there, and that's also one of the reasons I'm probably picking Hipper and or Mines, but they pretty much have the same sonar anyway, so it doesn't matter much. But Odin is a battleship equipped with a sonar, so you are able to use the good old cruiser tactics and still be in a more tanky battleship. So that's definitely an option as well. Brandenburg is not really that much of an option for me anyway. Same with Tirpitz or Bismarck, because they don't have sonar. The sonar is the whole point of even considering to play Odin, really. For this ranked season number 6, I have been doing a lot of experimentation. I played Scharnhorst, and I also played Terrible, and I haven't actually finished ranking out yet because I'm very busy. So perhaps later today I'll do some Cheshire battles, and I have a few other things that people have asked me to try out on my channel, so we're gonna do that. So I'm kind of treating tier 6 here as a bit of an experiment, and then we're gonna go full try hard for the tier 7 as well. I really only did tier 3 as, you know, I wanted to see, can I do it without losing any battles, and yeah, I could. And then from that on I have been not as diligent, I will admit that. I have been, trying out stuff and seeing how things that I think might work very well in a one-on-one situation actually plays out in real life. And sometimes it plays out and sometimes it doesn't. So we keep it a little bit loose here. But when we get to tier 7, we'll see if we can do another try-hard ranked season, pretty much. So once I finish my tier 6 experimentation, I'll of course do a video on my findings. But I can already say now that Scharnhorst is a very, very strong contender. I think I played 5 battles in the ship yesterday, didn't lose any of them, and I played an agile Scharnhorst at that. Which actually turned out extremely well, because it means you can dodge incoming HE shells until you are, within 10 kilometers of the offending cruiser. And if you happen to get matched with another Scharnhorst or a Gneisenau, then you're much more agile than they are, and it's very, very easy to torp them out of existence while you avoid their torps. So I can definitely recommend an agile Scharnhorst, actually. But I'll probably do that video tomorrow, guys. Anyway, that was Hipper versus Legendaries here, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.